Hi everyone, if you'd like to see how to make these dashboards with shaker cards without any fancy tools whatsoever, then please keep watching. I've made all three of these from the Pretty Posy kit from Planners Anonymous. I'll just show you the first one here. It's every flower grows through the dirt, and you can see I've got flower sequins. Hopefully you can see I've got flower sequins in there. And then inside the dashboard there's the dirt. This one is In This Moment Be Happy, and you can hopefully see there's a fairy in there as well as a lot of stars and flowers. And then inside, this amazing paper, possibly my favourite for the whole kit, that one I think. Gorgeous. And then we've got this one here, which is Grow Your Tomorrow, and you can see I've popped in there lots of flowers and stars. I apologise for the glare that I'm facing today, but it's a very gloomy day outside. And inside Grow Your Tomorrow, we've got this here. So I've made these for my B6 Traveller's Notebook. You can obviously make them as dividers for a ring bound planner by only making the front section. They're really super easy and quick to make. So if you'd like to see how, please keep watching. To make these super simple shaker cards, you need some plastic packaging that everything comes in. So these ones come from the Planners Anonymous planner subscription kit, but pretty much they're in everything. So a lot of things, you have the plastic and then the backer card and then whatever it is that you've purchased in it. So you need those. Then some various cards, journal cards, quote cards, whatever. You can also, if you like, grab things. So I've grabbed things from the Coordinating Pretty Posy kit. So I have some stickers, some die cuts, and the washi that came in the kit. You'll also just need some double-sided adhesive. I have this Scor tape. I love Scor tape. It's the adhesive I like, but you can use any type of glue, tape runner, whatever. Scissors are always handy. And then you just need whatever you want to attach the shaker cards to. So you can just pop shaker cards in your planner pockets. So if you have a planner such as this and you've got pockets at the front, shaker cards can just sit in there, or you can attach them to dividers in your planner. I'm going to make some dashboards for a B6 planner. So I've cut these dashboards out of the double-sided paper that came in the Pretty Posy kit. I'll just show you those quickly. So I've cut them to size. I have another tutorial showing how to cut and set up dashboards. If you're interested, then have a look down below. I'm going to make 3 simple shaker cards and attach them to these dashboards. Oops, I forgot the most important thing. To make a shaker card, you need something to shake. So here I have a bunch of, are they called sequins? I don't know what they're called actually. This is an entire kit from the kids section in Kmart that was, I don't know, maybe $2, and there's a bunch of different shapes and colours of goodies in there which you can shake around. Otherwise, over time I've accumulated these different sequins and glittery things. These come in the Planner Society kit, and I don't actually know where I've gathered these from, various craft stores over the time, although I did notice most of mine are stars. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, that's beside the point. So I have a few different ways of making these easy cards. The first card that I'm going to make, I'm going to use this. So this is the backing card and the plastic packaging that all of these cards from the Pretty Posy kit arrived in when the planner subscription came. And I like to use everything, particularly when it all coordinates. So I'm going to use this backing card and this plastic. This one here is the simplest card to make ever. So what you need to do is obviously open the plastic. I'll just take this backer card out. You could leave this on if you like, but I'm just going to chop this white bit off just so I have a decorative card without that. Once you have your card with this little bit chopped off and it's just the card, you can then decorate this card further if you like. So you can, for example, add a quote sticker to it. You could just write a quote on it. You could add decorative stickers to it. You could glue die cuts to it. You can do lots of things, or you can just leave it exactly as it is. I think I'm just going to add a little quote to it. I like this quote that came in the kit. Every flower grows through the dirt. So I'm just going to remove that. Just being really gentle with this because it has a few little pieces to it. So I think I would like to add this quote to it. I'm just eyeballing it really. I'm sure that's crooked, but there we go. So I have a quote on there, a little bit crooked. And then I might add some small stickers to it. I'm just thinking about adding a little bee to it up in here, flying. But I am going to make another card that is more bee related, so I might just hold off on my bees and just stick to that. So now that I've added the sticker to the card, all I really want to do, I want to keep it simple. I just want to add my little shaker bits and bobs to it. So open the plastic up again and pop the card back in. Like so. Then basically you can hold this open like this and you can pour your little shaker bits and bobs in there. So I need to select some little shaker things to put in it first. This is 120 GSM paper, so thickish paper. I'm just going to pop that there and put the sequins that I choose onto the bit of paper. So I'll probably speed this up because this is not going to be very fascinating to watch. Okay, so I've made my own little sequin mix here with some colours that I quite like. And now to add them to the shaker card, I'll just open it like so. And then bend the piece of paper. And tip those in front of the card. Oops. I always drop a few. It's a matter of personal preference really as to how many shaker goodies you want in there. I don't want to bulk my dashboards up too much, so I don't put a huge amount. So hopefully you can see there sort of how many I like to put. I don't know if there's a scientific amount. Probably there would be if I actually weighed it. I'm just going to pop this one here since it's running around loose in there too. And the sparkly bit here. So it's just personal preference how many shakers you like to put and the shapes and the colours and so on. So it's a very gloomy day here today, I'm sorry about that, so there's a little bit of glare off the plastic here. But you can see I've pretty much chosen flower shapes And then there's a few little stars. I put some of these tiny little stars in as well. So there's some little stars and flower shapes and a few circles in coordinating colours. So if you're happy with the amount of shakers that you have in your shaker card, the next step, I'll just move this. I fold the plastic over so it's at the very top of the card. You can see there, it's running along the very top of the card, and I stick it back down. Generally I add a little bit of washi or tape or something to the back as well to stick it. I don't think that sticky will come off. That's the original sticky for the packet. I don't think it would actually come off, but I just like to make sure. So this is some washi from the kit. I'll just add on there. Gosh, I'm having trouble with straight lines today. I'll just stick that on a little bit straighter. Okay, so that's on the back of the pocket, which we're not going to see because it's going to be stuck onto the dashboard. So I think that works really well with the saying, every flower grows through the dirt, and then when you open it you see some of the dirt, so you see where you're starting from. So I sort of visualize that being stuck on the card here so that the flower line sort of still works. I'm just thinking I might embellish around it, so I might just have a little bit of a play. Okay, nothing particularly fancy there. I'm just going to add this little bit of washi on the bottom and pop the sticker there. So now what I need to do is attach the shaker card to the dashboard, and this is where I use my Scor tape. This is 1/8 of an inch Scor tape. This is as thin as it comes. Any sort of glue adhesive that you have will work for this. I just like Scor tape because it means I can make things quickly. I don't have to wait for glue to dry, and it's not mucky, and it always sticks. I have a problem with tape runners sticking actually. I don't know if any of you can recommend a good tape runner to me. I use a Tombow removable tape runner, and I find things just fall out using that. It doesn't seem to really stick at all. I'm not sure if someone would like to recommend a good tape runner to me, because I do like the convenience of a tape runner. But Scor tape is what I use in a lot of my crafting. I highly recommend it. Okay, so I've put some tape on there, and then I just need to peel the paper off. Like so. And just eyeball it. I'm just sort of eyeballing it so the card sits just on the top of the washi that I've already laid down. Just pop it there, and then, oops, the little girl got a sequin in her hair, and I'll just pop her down there. So I'm sort of visualizing this as she's much further away, which is why she's so much smaller than the giant flowers that are in the front there. So hopefully with the lighting you can see. I'll just shake this up. We'll shake it off. Hopefully you can see there the sequins will all move around in the pocket. Okay, so that's the first one. You can see that that's super simple and super quick. For the next shaker card I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and I'm going to use this dashboard here, which is honey on the outside, and awesome sauce. This is amazing, this dripping honeycomb with these gorgeous fat friendly bees inside it. Love it, love, love, love it. I like folding it this way as the outside, you're sort of, yeah, that's cute, and then inside, wow. So you get that surprise every time you open it. So I have this card from the kit, In This Moment Be Happy, and I'm wanting to turn that into a little shaker card to pop on the front there. So this shaker card I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to use a bigger plastic envelope, packaging, whatever you call them, because you don't always have one that's the perfect size. Like this one was the perfect size. You don't always have one that's the perfect size. Maybe you've used that one and you want to make 2 shaker cards. So you can use a bigger one. So we pop the card into the far corner. Okay, and then this is what I usually do, about maybe an inch. I chop off there, and then I'll fold this and tape it on the reverse side, and then I can fill this just like I did with the other card, and then fold that down, and it's just like the other one, but it's just got a little bit more thickness to it. But I mean, this plastic's so thin, it's really not thick. So that's how you can use a larger bag. So you could cut it here, but I actually like having the permanent shop seals on the edges, just so we don't have any leakage at all. I don't want sequins all through my bag. I'm not a fairy, I don't need to sprinkle fairy dust. So I do like to keep those, all the 3 sealed edges. I don't know what to call them, sealed edges. I like to keep them. So what I need to do now is just sort a sequin mix out for this one. And then also when you're doing this, you can do the same thing. You can decide on the actual card itself whether you want to attach washi, stickers, die cuts, whatever you like onto this card. Then now's the time to do that before you add the sequins. I've sorted out a small sequin mix here, and now I'm just going to prepare this envelope. I just want to be super sure about all my adhesiveness, so I'm just going to use some Scor tape for this. You can just tear Scor tape, I just like to use scissors for it. So I've put some Scor tape along the side of the card there and along the edge of the packet. So this is for the folding part of the packaging. And then just fold that along the side of the card, making it not too tight. Hopefully I haven't made it too tight, we'll find out. So we want to open that up like we did before and tip these sequins in. It would be easier on a slightly smaller piece of paper. I've got a large sheet of paper here. I should probably use a piece of paper about half the size. So tip the sequins down into the front of the card. A couple that didn't make it. Okay, I've also got a giant fairy sequin here, a gold. Ooh. I'm not sure if you can see that, just here, and I'm just going to pop her in there as well. And then I've put stars of various different sizes. Now when I look at that, it might be a bit too gold and not enough of the oranges and yellows that I was going for, so I might just add a few more sequins into that. So it's just a small quantity of sequins, just because I don't like to bulk out my planner too much. And then I've just got this glitter. I hate glitter. Like, I love glitter, but oh my goodness, it gets everywhere, doesn't it? So I've got a little bit of glitter here. It's looking like it's a bit lumpy, actually. Is it going to spread? It looks more like dirt. It's not spreading very much. What I hoped it would look like was sort of fairy dust sprinkled in there with the glitter, but I'm a bit hesitant to pop that in because it looks sort of like sand. I don't think it will do what I want it to do. I think it's just going to look like a clump of dirt in my shaker card. So if you had gold glitter, this would be a nice one to add some glitter to, I think, just with having the fairy. So what I might do is just add a few more little gold stars. Since I can't add my glitter. So once you've added whatever sequin mix you want to the front of the card there, then we need to close the card. So in this case, I'm also going to use Scor tape, just because I haven't got the adhesive that the packaging originally came with. And I'm just going to pop a bit of Scor tape between those layers. Stick those two layers down, and now just on the pocket itself. And then fold that over the top and stick that down. So you can see what you have is where the pocket is. It isn't adhered down. You can pop some adhesive right in there, which can be a bit fiddly, or like I'm going to just put some washi on the back. When you're doing the washi, just make sure you don't get right like too far over the edge like that, because if you did that, you can see the washi on the other side. So you want the washi to be hidden on the back. So just make sure to not go too far. Okay, so we've got that. And we've got, in this moment, Be Happy. And we've got a fairy running around in the sequins there. So I'll pop this card on here. I'm just going to get rid of this glitter because otherwise it's going to take over the world. So this is where you can put them, like you don't have to put them on dashboards or dividers. You can, for example, pop them in your pockets, or you can actually make bookmarks with them and have them in your planner so that you flick them. You make them double-sided and you flick them, and so they shake around as you move the bookmark. Perhaps I'll make another tutorial doing some more complicated things with shaker pockets, but this is the easy shaker pocket tutorial. So we're just going to attach it to the dashboard, and what you need to think about is whether you want to add anything around that, like with this one here, how we added the sticker and the washi, just whether you'd like to add anything. So I'm thinking I want to add a bee die cut. So we've got this nice happy fuzzy bee here. And I actually quite like the simplicity of that because the background's quite busy with the repeating pattern. So I like the idea just of having the card, the shaker, and then having the bee. So I'm just going to attach that. Oh, perfect. This is wonderful. So to make this into a sticker, I'm just going to use my Xyron machine because he just fits, which is fantastic. He or she. So if you don't know these machines, they're fantastic. They turn anything into a sticker. This is, I think, the smallest one. And you just pull it out like that and then just rub it. And then that die cut is now a sticker. Love my Xyron. So you do that. I'll stick this down first and then we'll come back to the bee. But you can see he just fits in that smallest Xyron there. So we've got this, and I'm just going to add the Scor tape on the back like I did with the first one, just to stick this pocket down to the dashboard. Right, and then once again you just eyeball it to wherever you happen to think it looks good. Like so. Have I got that crooked? Possibly. It's a crooked sort of a day today. So you've got the shaker in this moment. Be happy. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to stick my bee on here as well. So going back to the Xyron, so you peel this layer off here. And you've got your die cut sitting there, and then when you peel that off, on the reverse side of that die cut, it's all sticky now. So your die cut is now a sticker. Love my Xyron. So we just need to work out what he's going to be doing. So there's the second dashboard we've quickly done. In this moment, be happy. So of course you can embellish that dashboard further if you like, and you can see here all of the sequins are shaking around in there. So there we've got two of them, and you can see I've used different sequin mixes in both of those. Usually in a planner setup, I'd only have one dashboard that looked like this, like one dashboard with a shaker pocket on the front. Certainly only one dashboard with a quote card and a shaker pocket in the front. I may make more complicated shaker pockets and have them in a planner as well, but I wouldn't normally have more than one in my setup. I just like to mix it up and decorate things differently, that's all. But just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll do one more dashboard just to give you another bit of an idea as to what you can do. More or less using the same method, but just with a few extra embellishments. So we've got this card, Grow Your Tomorrow. I think that looks quite nice on there because we've got quite a busy, active pattern there, and then the watercolor on it. Looks nice. I like that look. So the first thing to do is find a plastic pocket for it. This is a plastic pocket that probably quote cards came in, but you can see the card is not as wide as the backing card. So there's quite a lot of space around there. So if you have quite big sequins, that would be fine. They won't work their way to the back, but you do risk with smaller sequins or glitter that they would work their way to the back there. So if you've got it all glued down on here, they wouldn't probably make their way to the back anyway. But if it's a shaker card you're making to pop in a pocket or use as a bookmark or something, then they could work their way around the back, and that's irritating. It's irritating to me anyway. So one thing you can do is have a wider card in the background. So you can cut card to be wider, to be the width of the pocket, and you can attach this card to that card. So it makes a border around this card, if that makes sense. I'll quickly show you what I mean here. So here's one that I've made in the past, and I think this is a bit of backing card that fits the pocket, and this is a little quote card I wanted to put in it. So I glued the quote card to the card that the pocket fit perfectly, and then just added some sequins into that. So you can do that sort of thing. You can also just add even just a piece of paper that's the right width, so the right size to make a border around this. And then another thing you can do is add washi to the paper, so you actually have a washi background inside the shaker card. So sometimes what I do is add frames to shakers afterwards, but that's getting more dimensional and more complicated. So what I'll do with this one is we'll just cut a piece of paper to the width of the plastic as a washi border around this card. I've just cut some of that 120 GSM paper I had lying around with the sequins on it to a little bit less wide than the packet, because of course you have to get it into the packet, and then so that it would make a bit of a thin border around this card. So we have that there. So you can do this with other patterned paper or something so that you actually have a pattern around there. But what I'm going to do is wrap some washi on here, just on the edge. I'm just going to washify it, so we'll see a little bit of washi peeking through. This is some of the washi that came in the Planners Anonymous Pretty Posy kit. Okay, I've put washi all around the outside of that, and then the card can sit on there, like so. And that makes a bit of a frame for it. So I'm just going to put some of my Scor tape on the edges of this card. So just some type of adhesive just to glue this down. You don't want a gap between the layers though, or all the sequins will go between the card and this, and then that wouldn't be good at all. Okay, that will do. So it's not completely symmetrical. The sides you don't see quite as much as at the top and the bottom, but that's okay. So that adds a bit of colour and a bit of bling to it. So you can also, if you like, add stickers, die cuts, washi, etc. to the card. But I'm just going to leave it like that and pop it in. It's a very tight fit. I could have possibly made it a little bit narrower, but that's okay. Okay, I have split the envelope a little bit there, but luckily it's only going to be a couple of millimeters by the time I fold that over, so that's quite lucky. So now I need to sort a sequin mix out for this one, and I'm just going to pop that in the front of the card. You can see I've got a smaller piece of paper this time, mostly because I couldn't find my bigger piece of paper. I think this one's probably got more sequins than the other two, but that's okay. Okay, so there we have the sequin mix there. I think this one might have a few more than the other two. I obviously got a bit excited collecting my sequins, but that's okay. So now it's just the same method as we used before. So fold that right over at the top of the card, stick that down, and then I like to just add the little bit of washi there, just as extra insurance. I don't really know why, given I then score tape it down. It's really not necessary, but that's what I like to do. So here we have the shaker card. I'll just move those around a bit so you can see there we've got some butterflies and flowers and stars, and we've got grow your tomorrow. So that's the card there, and that would look nice on here, I think. So once again, you can decide whether you want to add washi, die cut, stickers, etc. to this. Like with this one, we added the die cut, this one, just the sticker and the washi. They're all fairly simple and straightforward though, and you can do similar things with this one. But what I'm first going to do is just stick that down, and I might just leave the tutorial there because I'm sure you've got the idea now of how to go about making these easy shaker cards just by repurposing some of your plastic packaging. That's one of the reasons I really like this as well. I like to use everything that comes in a kit, and the packaging's part of the kit as well, and it's quite nice to be able to use everything. It's also why I've given up hoarding and started using. I mean, we buy these things to use, so let's use them. What's the point in having drawers full of things or cupboards full of things when we could make the things we use every day prettier? So we'll just put the score tape there. Oh, I haven't done my diagonal one, so I'm just going to add that. I just like to do that just to make sure it's adhered nicely to the dashboard. Okay, and once again, I just eyeball it. I'm not someone that can be bothered measuring something like that. And there we have it, grow your tomorrow. So I'll just quickly show you all three dashboards. Here we have the three shaker dashboards that I've just quickly made using the Pretty Posy kit from Planners Anonymous and using my hoard of sequins which I had on hand. It really is simple to make the shaker cards like this, and I hope it inspires you to craft something today. Making these makes me want to show you how to make more complicated shaker cards in the future as well. This is where I started with shaker cards, and these ones are not very dimensional, so they're perfect for planners. They don't add a lot of bulk to your planner at all, which is why I like these. I like these shaker cards because first of all it repurposes packaging. It's also easy to make them, they're quick, they're pretty, and they're not very dimensional, so they don't add a lot of bulk to my planner. So for many reasons I like these. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully it's not such a long gap before I produce another tutorial for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.